Anyway, this was the political ass kicking of a lifetime. So Kamala did not outperform Biden anywhere in any state except for maybe DC. But that's because DC has never voted a Republican ever, and it never will because it's like 97% Democrat, which I don't see how you could say that's a fair representation of the country if the capital is 97% one side. But anyway, yeah, she did worse with literally every group and lost major ground with Latinos and Native Americans and Asian Americans and to a certain extent Black Americans. She didn't lose like I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous that she lost as much as she did, but like I guess it's not gonna like. I mean, it did destroy her. I guess. I don't know. Anyway, let's get into the numbers. So Trump improved pretty much everywhere and pretty much with every group. He made serious gains in California. I think Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden both won it by like 30. And I don't remember how much Kamala won it by, but it was not 30. He made ginormous strides in New York. So New York is another one of those states that always goes plus 30 Democrat, or like plus 20, somewhere around in there. Like that's the margin Hillary Clinton won it by. I think Biden won it by a similar margin, but it was like plus 11 for Kamala. Like, I don't know how you fuck that up. I literally don't know how you fuck that up. It's like one of the strongholds that you should win, like, decisively. I mean, 11 points is decisive, but I mean, not like what it used to be. Like, that's crazy. Minnesota, Trump had it within 5. I don't think it's voted for a Republican since the 70s. It's like the white whale. It's just kind of out there, but I mean, Trump got it really fucking close. Virginia, I believe, was also within 5. For most of the night, it was within 2. And he was actually leading for a good majority of the time. I thought he might actually come away with it. But, you know, Virginia is part of the swamp, so, I mean, North Virginia is going to pretty much destroy anything that you've got out in the rural parts of Virginia. But anyway, even in Illinois, he made decent ground. But honestly, I'm not too surprised about that because I had seen some town hall meetings from Chicago where people were really, really irritated with the government, like the city government. And you should probably know this if you don't. Chicago is one of those cities that's just Democrat run, just always has been. So I'm not too surprised that Illinois was, you know, not as electric as it should have been, I guess. New Jersey, that was really impressive. I want to say Trump had that within 5. And, like, New Jersey, that's pretty ridiculous. He also improved with record highs with Latinos at around 48% and about 39% with Latinas, which, again, that's like a historical margin right there. Not just for Trump, but like for Republicans. I think since the entire thing has been like counted, you know, I want to say that he's gotten the most Latin support out of any Republican candidate. Again, crazy. He improved his share of the black vote to around 16%, which is pretty noteworthy for a Republican. I don't think any Republican in the 21st century has done as well as Trump with the black population, which again is great. 1 out of every 4 black men voted for Trump, so I mean, that should tell you about how well he was doing. Like, that's, again, for a Republican, that's crazy, insane. Like, he should not be getting these numbers, but yet he is. he improved his share of other race, which I think that's kind of stupid. Just, oh, you went out and you did white, black, Latin. Why wouldn't you just continue to fill out the rest instead of just the rest is other? Because I mean, you can't break that down at all. Yeah, which is really really lame. Also, Trump, I want to say won Native Americans, which is again, that would be one of those others, but like crazy. Trump flipped counties that have never gone Republican or only went Republican, like, you know, like they haven't been in a long time, like maybe since like the 60s or 70s or something like that. Like he won some down in Texas and Georgia and Alabama. I want to say North Carolina as well, that Republicans haven't won like either ever or in like a million years. Yeah. And if we go back to the very beginning of the map, and we look right here, you can see we've got a very, very big, very, very red map with just a few blue dots. That was the election this year. Yeah. Right, so moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about the Senate Majority Leader. Unfortunately, he's already been picked, which is very upsetting because it's not the guy that I wanted, or that really anyone wanted, except for the establishment. They wanted him. But Rick Scott would have been the ideal candidate. You know, he's from my home state. He's one of my senators. And he hasn't spoken out against Trump or the MAGA movement, which you can't say the same for John Thune, who's a muppet, a puppet, just Mitch McConnell 2.0. Who's known for his anti-MAGA, anti-Trump sentiments. He wanted to lock away January 6th people who were, like, his own constituents. And, like, I'd also like to point out that we know that the FBI... Okay, I know that I've got all of this stuff written down here, but I'm not, like, really reading it. Like, I kind of am. But I'm more so going off the top of my head. These are just points that I want to make sure that I get out. But yeah, the FBI was involved in that. We can go over that sometime if you want. That's really suspicious, and it's not at all surprising to hear. Like when I looked at, they killed Kennedy. Literally, the CIA killed Kennedy. Anything is possible. FBI. Setting up January 6th, yes. Yeah, no, that's, like, easy. No props, like I said. They didn't even have to kill anyone for that. They had to kill Kennedy. Yeah, again, there's a lot of very, very interesting evidence to that, which I'm not going to go over right now, because it would just take the rest of the stream. But anyway, he's repeatedly said Trump needs to step down, and that they need to get someone else, and that just Trump is not the guy. He's also pushed for woke agendas. I mean, what more do I need to say there? Like, bro, really? Yeah, he's a rhino. It means Republican in name only, in case if you're unfamiliar. But yeah, he's probably gonna try to slow everything down. Which shouldn't be a problem, because apparently, and I don't know how true this is, I haven't personally looked into this, but this is just what I've heard, is that the vice president is technically the Senate Majority Leader. Like, the guy that they elect as the Senate leader is the guy that sits in there and takes Vance's place while Vance is not there. That's how that works. So if they need to do something, they can just send in Vance to, like, basically say, all right, Thune, get the fuck out of the way. We're trying to, like, get things set up here. You know, we're trying to push our agenda along, you know, the mandate that we've been given by the American people and all. Yeah, the rhinos typically and the establishment typically don't care about that because they'd rather fund and feed the deep state and military industrial complex. Yeah, it's not something that's typically done, and I want to say maybe the only time it's ever been done was with John Adams or something ridiculous like that. But I mean, hell, if we've got to pull out all of these old rules to, like, get the will of the people going, as long as it's legal, I really don't care. I'd also like to talk about, there was this list that was circulating, put out by Benny Johnson, if you're familiar with Benny Johnson. Great guy. And on this list, it was supposedly all, like, who the senators all picked for the majority leader. And I saw John Kennedy, senator from Louisiana. I was a pretty big fan of his. Like, I thought he was funny. You know, he seemed pretty common sense, smart. But something that really, really kind of worried me a little bit is I saw a clip of him going on the news, and he was shit-talking this list. And he was saying, like, oh, if you believe that, you probably believe that, you know, Elvis is alive and working at Burger King or something like that, right? And I noticed, and you know, I always try to put everyone under the same amount of scrutiny if I'm listening, you know, like to a Senate hearing or something. But, like, I noticed he did the thing that he gets mad at a lot in the Senate, and that's when you ask someone a question and they kind of sidestep that question and give you a non-answer. Yeah, he did one of those. The person, the interviewer asked if there was someone that John Kennedy would prefer because, you know, if that list is wrong, like he says it is, then who are you supporting? And he said, basically, we'll pick the right guy. Okay, so that means the list is totally accurate and you're trying to cover. There was always this funny thing John Kennedy said, and I don't remember what exactly the context of it was, but he said, oh, I think it might have been about defunding the police. The next time that you're in trouble, call a crackhead. Well, Mr. Kennedy, I have to say that since I think we know the way that you voted, next time that you need a vote, call a Democrat. Because you're not doing us any favors. You're literally going against the wishes of the people. This guy is not gonna help push anything along. Or if it is, it's gonna be watered down rhino shit, which is not what we voted for. We voted for Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. You know, like the deep state and the military-industrial complex, you know. All the letter agencies getting, like, razed to the ground, you know, for, like, going against the wishes of the people and just being horribly, horribly, horribly corrupt institutions. Yeah, so very disappointed in you, John Kennedy. I would also recommend, if you know, really want to see some change, I know it's not anything crazy, but I would say try to email or call John Thune. Tell him that, hey, you work for me. And we sent a mandate out, this is what we want, and you're going to fulfill said mandate. And if you do not fulfill said mandate, we will primary you out. Like, I feel like these people need to be reminded of who puts them there. So, yeah, like I said, you can look up John Thune, contact John Thune, And you can send him an email. You could send him a phone call. Again, be legal about it. I want to say be legal about it. Don't say anything illegal. There, you heard me say it on camera. I encourage people to call, but not to say anything illegal. Just tell him, he needs to, keep up with the agenda. So let's talk a little bit about Trump's cabinet. So we've got, I think, the most exciting two first. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. They're going to be in charge of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. And they're going to go through and they're going to see where we can cut out waste. And yeah, why is this not a thing to begin with? Why are we just now thinking of it, right now? I'm super excited for that. I hope that they get rid of so much bullshit that we don't need. Next, we've got Tom Homan, who's going to be the border czar. This guy takes no shit. He's a legend. I've seen him personally in Senate hearings, right? And this guy, AOC, I don't know if you know who she is. She's not a very smart person. She likes to think she is, but she's not. And she's this congresswoman from New York. And she was trying to educate him on something. And just goes out and I think it was like, she tried saying that seeking asylum is not a crime, and Tom Homan said, you have to seek asylum through a point of entry, otherwise, yes, it is a crime. That's how it works. You go through a point of entry. And then just that she gave him in return was fucking hilarious. Yeah, so that guy's a real one. Matt Gaetz as well, he's another real one. Congressman from my state, of course. A lot of Florida people here. It's great. Love to see it. A very staunch supporter of Trump. One of his greatest allies in Congress. Him and, I would say, probably like Byron Donalds. Love Byron Donalds. He's amazing. Yeah. He's helped out a lot of the January 6th people, too. Yeah. Pretty cool guy. And he also was targeted. The FBI was trying to extort money from him. And now he's more or less going to be in charge of them as the Attorney General, which is great. Tulsi Gabbard is going to be the Director of National Intelligence, which is huge. That's like all of the FBI, CIA, all of them report all of their findings to her. Yeah. Tulsi Gabbard is great, and I don't think I need to say too much about her because I think y'all already know who she is. She's kind of a legend, But from Hawaii, she served in the military. I don't quite remember which branch. Might have been the National Guard. Don't quote me on that. I think it was the National Guard, but yeah. She also single-handedly destroyed Kamala's presidential run in 2020. When she was like, yeah, you say you're going to be a prosecutor, but you threw all of these people in jail for way longer than what they were supposed to be, and you hid evidence and did all of this shit. Just blew up her first campaign. Hilarious. Marco Rubio is going to be the Secretary of State, another Florida boy. I used to not be a huge fan of Marco Rubio, but he's done a lot to win me over, I should say. He used to have a really bad voting record, and he was kind of known for his canned speeches and such, but he's really stepped up in a huge way. He's a great ally of the movement. Susie Wiles is going to be the Chief of Staff. She's cool. She's a regular on the Benny Johnson show, if you're familiar with that. I brought it up earlier. Stephen Miller, again, another, he's going to be the Deputy Chief of Staff. he as well is a regular of the Benny Johnson show. So, I just think it's so funny that Joe Biden is all smiles. He's shaking hands with Trump. Well, for one thing, I think it's funny because it just proves this is right. It just proves that this picture is the truth. It's what happened. But it also proves that Joe Biden never believed that Donald Trump was Hitler ever. He never thought like he was this like danger or threat. Because if you think someone is Hitler, a danger or a threat, you're not all smiles and shaking hands with them, putting on a MAGA hat. Like, come on. Come on. You don't even believe this shit that you're spewing. So I just kind of wanted to mention this as well. And I think it's funny that Melania turned down Jill Biden's invitation for tea. Typically, the first ladies have tea. Like Michelle Obama and Melania Trump had tea. But, yeah, apparently... when you send your DOJ over to her house and you have her them go through all of her stuff and her son's room, and you terrorize her husband, turns out she doesn't like you. She doesn't like you, Jill, and I don't think I do either. First of all, that is a nasty, horrible lady. Let me just say, Jill Biden is a nasty, nasty witch. If you don't believe me, who was pushing for Joe Biden to really go out there and keep running after it was so obvious that he had dementia? Oh yeah, that was Jill Biden and Hunter Biden. Yeah. They don't give a shit about that man. They only care about the money and the power they are going to be getting by being attached to that man. Which I think is kind of shameful, because while I don't like Joe Biden, and I think he's a terrible human being, if you don't believe me, you can go back and look at his voting record when he was a senator. You can see how he voted against desegregation of school buses, and said, like, a lot of really, really horrible shit. Like, far in excess of what anyone tries saying Trump said. Okay, I just would... We're gonna go there. He dropped the N-word multiple times in Congress. Multiple times. It's on record. It's on record. Alright. So yeah, I'm not out here saying that Joe Biden is like, oh, poor little baby, but he don't deserve all this. I don't think he deserves... Because I don't think he's an evil man. I think he's a stupid man. A very, very stupid man. And I don't think that he deserves quite what he's getting. Just his wife and son being evil. But whatever. You get in bed with the wrong types of people, and this is what happens. And then the Hollywood cope. Oh my god. Sorry, Mr. Farage. Not looking for you. Let's see here. I don't think any of these ones are leaving. How sad. Jimmy Kimmel is leaving, though. And George Clooney is taking a step back from politics because everyone keeps blaming him because he was the one that wrote the letter that was like, we need to get rid of Biden. I think it's funny. It's what happens. Like, all you freaks get what you deserve. Where is it? Where's the Jimmy Kimmel one? Yeah. It's canceled on January 20th, and he's leaving and never coming back. I can't wait. I can't wait. I hope every one of them. Where are they? Where's the Diddy list? There we go. Breaking news, everyone. Here's part of the Diddy list. There's more, but this is just part of it. Yeah, all of these people, they can all leave. I don't care. Don't know who the first one is. George Clooney, like, you're known for being the worst Batman there's ever been, and that's about it. Oprah Winfrey, like, what, you give out a car and you give out another car? Cool, good for you, whatever, you can leave. You haven't given me a car. Don't even know who the next one is. Don't know who the next one is. Robert Downey Jr., really? Really? I didn't think you needed the money, man. Yeah, I guess he must have blown it all on something. I don't know. Probably whatever his replacement for drugs and alcohol is. Don't know who the next one is. Is that Ben Stiller? Okay, I mean, I guess you're okay in movies. I wouldn't say I'd run out of my way to be like, oh god, I gotta see what Ben Stiller is in. Yeah, you can leave the country too. Don't know who the next one is. Samuel L. Jackson. Man, I gotta say, I'm disappointed. You're by far the coolest person on the list so far. By far. But let's also take a look at what's been happening with you is Nick Fury. Ugh. Next. Don't know who that is. Kamala, yeah, you please leave tomorrow. Do it like last week ago. You can leave. Harrison Ford, man. Again, I kind of like Harrison Ford, but then again, when was the last time he was in a decent movie? Like what? The Fugitive? Would that have been his last decent movie? Because, I mean, you had the Indiana Jones movies. The first three were, incredible. And then the last two were the same amount of, like, emotion, but it's pain. Instead of it being, like, that good, it would be, that extreme, but on the bad end. Cher, even when you were popular, your music sucked. You can definitely leave. Oh, God, Mark Ruffalo. Okay, I have never met, or I've never seen a bigger poser than Mark Ruffalo. I die laughing because it's like, this guy is an A-list celebrity? He's never been in anything where I've been like, wow, he was really good in this. He's just always kind of been there. Like, he was just kind of there as, like, the Hulk. As a matter of fact, I would say the Hulk got worse when Mark Ruffalo joined. Like, what an absolute talentless hack. Literally couldn't act if his life depended on it. Next. Billy Eilish or Eilish or however the fuck I say your last name. Yeah, here, let me go ahead and sing one of your songs real quick. Okay, there we go. I'm already more talented than you. Next, Robert De Niro, same shit. When was the last time Robert De Niro was in a halfway decent movie? I'll wait. Like what? Goodfellas? Was that the last halfway decent movie he was in? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Honestly, he's the most obnoxious, besides maybe Ruffalo, on this list. Or Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill is another one who isn't on this list, but is a total loser and a whack job. Has, like, minimal talent. He's had 2 roles his entire career. Luke Skywalker and the Joker, and he's done nothing else of consequence. Yeah. See ya, Mark. See ya, Robert. Don't know who the next one is. Whatever. Is that DeCapricorn? Yeah, okay. We know why you're on this list, because you're on another list. It's called the Diddy list. Next. Don't know who you are. 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 And don't know who you are. Yeah. Irrelevant. Oh, and all the people from The View. God, I hope they leave. And cringe Jean Pierre and Joy Reid and all of them. I hope they all get on a plane and leave. I would laugh my ass off. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Just, I think it's funny that the Hollywood elites are now currently eating their own, and all the the fake news is currently picking sides on who really fucked it up here. It's great. It's great. Let them destroy themselves, because I'm so over the elitist, woke Hollywood bullshit. Yeah. I think that's going to do it for today's episode. Yeah. Stay salty. Stay happy.